the night.
This woman obviously had lost her damn mind.
You're a winner, man. You're the real deal. You're picking up chicks.
Stripping down butt naked.
Oh, what name? Melinda Brown Duffy, baby.
And all you could see was cellulite hanging in pubic hair.
Chickens done everyday people at churches, Popeyes, and Kentucky Fried Chicken.
He assaulted me with a chicken.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
It's teamwork.
Wear a seatbelt when you're driving. Pretty soon we're going to be calling this country.
I might not be in the mood to deal with white shenanigans that day. That's all I'm saying.
Surround yourself with smart, talented people.
Well, you ain't seen nothing, my friend, until you have a flame coming out of your butthole, and you need an asbestos diaper to be able to keep that flame from burning a hole in your pants.
My wife had my weed in her purse, and the mother cops took it. It was only like 4 grams, but it was really good weed.
Yeah, man, you just an unlucky dude.
Don't hate on prostitution, because guess what? It's been going on since before humans, man. You don't even know about it.
Now I'm gonna wrap it up.
I quit this bitch.
On a big station. Rock 1069.
Bye.
We need to put women back in the kitchen.
Have a great Friday, you motherfucker.
Welcome to Friday morning here on the Stansbury Show on Rock 1069, your first Friday edition. Miss anything from yesterday's program, that podcast, that's posted at WRQK.com. You'll need that website today, 9 a.m. That's when I'm going to pass out that first Rock the Bank keyword. We do it 12 times a day. I give you the very first every morning at 9. Head into your weekend, bonus $1,000. Also at 9 a.m. this morning, video game players are back complaining about more and more woke crap coming into their video game. This now over a scene in Dragon Age, and it is about a trans issue. I don't have a problem with them covering some subject matter that is happening around and in the world today, but they did it poorly. A character tries to make an apology for a microaggression, and then sure enough, ends up making it about themselves the entire time and not the person that had been offended by something, and that is a bigger issue. This is one of those things. I don't care about the subject matter or it being woke or it being in this or that or message or narrative of this. I don't care about any of that with this. What it is that it's one of these things where it's kind of like trying to teach people how to do the right thing, and a rush to look like a good person has people looking like a bad one. When you're making an apology, it's about the person you're apologizing to, not you. So we'll play you some audio, run that down. We'll do that coming up 9 a.m. Oh, my God. So we got more bumps in the road with the Hall of Fame Village project? Imagine that. Shocker. I say that because I wanted to be optimistic at the very beginning, but it's been a few years, and it's been more than oh, yeah, they're pulling out. Oh, yeah, they're going to be there. Oh, yeah, by the way, that restaurant's going to turn into this now. Oh, yeah, that's not going to be there. Oh, yeah, we're not going to do that. Oh, yeah, no, we're going to switch contractor there. Oh, yeah, non-payment over here. I mean, what the hell? So like, we got another project pulling out of the overall project over a non-payment issue. We'll take a look at that a little bit in the 8 o'clock hour. Also, I'm going to have to take you guys back to my hometown. Now, that gets tricky there because I actually went to Twinsburg High School, but technically I kind of lived in Aurora. I grew up in Aurora Shores and Reminderville, and you were kind of like smack dab in the middle there. And if you were willing to pay $500, you could go to Aurora. My father looked at my grades and was like, nope, Twinsburg it is. So I went there, but I lived in Aurora. But there is a vandalism situation that's happening in my old hometown, and it all centers around the Cleveland baseball team. Somebody's running around town plastering stickers all over the place, I think trying to make a point. It's about 10 years too late. So we'll get to that, take a look at that situation, that part of our 8 o'clock conversation. Text in anytime you please, 330-450-7625. Find me on your socials at The Stansbury Show as well. 7 o'clock, Joe Burrow says he's not a big Halloween guy. I got some audio here from Joey B. Says, yeah, he's not real big into Halloween. I saw they were trying to do the scare thing at Bengals practice the other day. He just kind of walked right by the thing. And they got to talking to him about a costume. And part of the reason why is because Macaulay Culkin dressed up as Joe Burrow. And I got to be honest with you, Macaulay did a good job. He came out looking a lot like Joe Burrow. I mean, he got the real uniform and the helmet, obviously. Welcome to celebrities having a little bit of money and, and being able to, go all out with the costuming. Look at Myles Garrett the other day, for crying out loud. And so, he did. Macaulay looked just like Joe Burrow. So obviously I got to talking to Joey about it. He said something that I say a lot about Halloween, but I think it's okay that I say it. I'm not so sure it's okay that Joe Burrow say it. Yeah, I'm going to judge Joe Burrow. Also, have you ever dated an imbecile? Any of my exes right now are saying, yeah, I think I probably did a few times, right? Yeah, absolutely. People have, and they're letting us know when they realized, oh my God, I am trapped in this relationship with an absolute idiot. And we'll run you through those examples. We'll take a look at dating imbeciles at 7 a.m. this morning here on the Stansbury Show. Oh, by the way, passing out Disturb tickets too at 8:30. Stick around and win those. The Stansbury. You could go to Aurora. My father looked at my grades and was like, nope, Twinsburg it is. So I went there, but I lived in Aurora. But there is a vandalism situation that's happening in my old hometown. And it all centers around the Cleveland baseball team. Somebody's running around town plastering stickers all over the place, I think trying to make a point that's about 10 years too late. So we'll get to that. Take a look at that situation, that part of our 8 o'clock conversation. Text in anytime you please, 330-450-7625. Find me on your socials at The Stansbury Show as well. 7 o'clock, Joe Burrow says he's not a big Halloween guy. I got some audio here from Joey B. Says, yeah, he's not real big into Halloween. I saw they were trying to do the scare thing at Bengals practice the other day. He just kind of walked right by the thing. And they got to talking to him about a costume. And part of the reason why is because of Macaulay Culkin dressed up as Joe Burrow. And I got to be honest with you, Macaulay did a good job. He came out looking a lot like Joe Burrow. I mean, he got the real uniform and the helmet, obviously. Welcome to celebrities having a little bit of money and, and being able to, go all out with the costuming. Look at Myles Garrett the other day, for crying out loud. And so, he did. Macaulay looked just like Joe Burrow. So obviously I got to talking to Joey about it. He said something that I say a lot about Halloween, but I think it's okay that I say it. I'm not so sure it's okay that Joe Burrow say it. Yeah, I'm going to judge Joe Burrow. Also, have you ever dated an imbecile? Any of my exes right now are saying, yeah, I think I probably did a few times, right? Yeah, absolutely. People have, and they're letting us know when they realize, oh my God, I am trapped in this relationship with an absolute idiot. And we'll run you through those examples. We'll take a look at dating imbeciles at 7 a.m. this morning here on the Stansbury Show. Oh, by the way, passing out Disturb tickets too at 8:30. Stick around and win those.
The Stansbury Show.
Weird, lame, gross, dumb, freak, loser, perv, toothy.
On Rock 106.9.
8:30, I'll pass those Disturb tickets out. A show in March 31st, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. For your Cavs, try to extend their perfect season to 6-0 tonight. Magic in town. They're sitting at like 3-2, so you don't want to look past them, but maybe the Cavs can hit 6-0 tonight. We'll find out. It's First Friday, and a lot of times we will keep that. And I don't mean the show. I mean just the city. You'll keep it about downtown, right? Because it is a downtown activity. But I wanted to mention this because I felt bad for this business because they're great. We all love it. But you might remember a couple of weeks ago, a little longer maybe, that a car had driven through the front end of Taggart's. I mean, that's a staple here in town. I didn't know this until this morning. I knew it had been there forever, and maybe I had seen the number and just had forgotten it, but they've been there since 1926. I mean, when you predate the Great Depression by 3 years, I mean, dude, that's a business and a half. That's a rock solid thing. But they've been closed. I think it's been about 5-6 weeks, something like that. Now, they have reopened and been doing some takeout, thankfully, and been able to serve some customers that way. But according to owner Mindy Mullally, and she announced this via her socials, I believe, and now reported in the Rep too, according to Bev Schaefer, that they're going to be ready for customers tonight at Taggart's, which sounds great. Apparently some new tables, benches have been built for them, and they've been open for takeout, like I said. But apparently they'll be able to seat you this evening. You'll be able to get back in there and do that. I want to tell people, hey, make sure you get there, try to help out a local business. I'm willing to bet, and maybe I'm wrong, but I hope I'm not, but I'm willing to bet you might have a hard time getting there. Because like I said, man, I've been there since 1926. And it was one of those places that when I first moved to town, because I knew a little bit about Canton. I knew what most people from the Cleveland area would know about Canton, right? Oh, the Hall of Fame, a few other things. I had heard about the legend of the pizza, and all right, so there was some other stuff. And, but when I got here, I was like, all right, came on the air. I was like, all right, where do I go? All right, tell me where to go. I like to eat stuff. I got stuff. And I was dating a woman from Cleveland. And I said, we're both, pretty much a blank slate to this place. Tell me where, where do I take her? Where do I go? And like, you wouldn't believe, well, you would believe. More than enough people tell you, oh yeah, you got to go there, Bittner. Hey, you got to go there, Bittner. And I was like, well, I didn't even know. Nobody even told you what it was. They were just like, they just kept saying it. I was like, okay, here we go. And sure enough, when my mom comes into town, she's like, Daniel? Yes, Mom. Right? It's like, my mom's so stereotypical with this, right? Every time she comes to town now, can we go to that nice little sandwich shop, Daniel? Can we go to that nice little sandwich shop again? Grinders, loves it, right? Like, duh. Pretty much their bread and butter, the moms, right? Loves it. Can't get enough of it every time she's in town. Nice little sandwich shop, let's go. Like, and so, like, she wants to go there, and she did. She loved it. She's a big fan of that, and that's right up my mom's alley. But that's my mom. My mom was the woman who hid Hershey bars in the hutch of the house and, like, would buy a carton of ice cream and try to put it all the way in the back of the freezer so my dad didn't eat it. Like, my mom is definitely that woman. Loves that stuff. So I'm happy to hear about their opening back up. And I just like local business, man. I think they're important. Chains are great, too. I'm not trying out to fight with the chains, but, pretty good to hear about that. All right. So I said yesterday, I feel like you and I are going to be talking about some Halloween costumes that are like, what the hell? And I may have missed this yesterday. I just posted the photo at my Facebook page, these stands. And it's Bill Belichick. And I've kind of stayed away from this story that he's been dating. I mean, he's 72 and this woman's 24. And, anytime an age gap in relationships comes up, and I always say, I'm like, look, I got to be careful how judgmental I am about this. I have, while in my 40s, have dated a 22-year-old woman. Like, that is I've done that. That's 20 years. That's a long time, man. That's a long time. I'm not sure that I would find myself doing a whole lot of that anymore. I say not sure because I don't know, right? I mean, like, life can happen. Look at Bill Belichick. 72, she's 24. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking gold digger and a lot of stuff like that, and maybe you don't know, right? You don't know. I also think successful people do have an aura about that. It's not just the money. It's like, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't, the world's too hard. And so when you see success, and let's be honest, Bill's had, you could call a lot of coaches successful. There's another word for Bill, but I think it's pronounced GOAT, right? Like, that's how it's pronounced. But this man is now dressed up as like a fisherman and pulling his 24-year-old mermaid girlfriend out of the water for Halloween. And I gotta tell you, it looks weird. It looks weird. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I guess, said the other day, for any of you hopeless romantics, just stay patient because maybe your soulmate hasn't been born. They'll be born 48 years later or something like that. I mean, he basically threw a lot of shade at the age gap. It is strange. It's a little weird. I remember we talked about Al Pacino with one of those now, right? Like, it was a few months ago. He ends up, apparently that woman got pregnant. They're now separated. He has to pay her a ton of money. And according to some stories I read the other day, now, plenty of people in Hollywood will talk, run their mouth, and you never know what you're really hearing. But, like, people are saying close to him, he doesn't know what happened. Like, he doesn't know he's a dad. He doesn't know, like, there's a thing. Like, he pretends and he goes along with it. Now, all of a sudden, this woman's getting a ton of cash out of him over this situation. It's weird. Like, I don't understand why, like, if you're 80, like, all right. Bill, you're 72. You realize if you want to date down, like 35 is dating way down, and like all of a sudden now that's like I don't mean to say that 24-year-olds aren't real adults, although I was 24, right? And then it's like normally the older you get now, maybe younger generation, more mature. Fair enough, but it does look a little weird. Forget the age group thing. It's like, Bill, you were known to be the stoic dude. We're on to Cincinnati, and now you're yanking mermaids out of the ocean. It just comes off looking weird. If anybody deserved fun Bill Belichick, goddamn, it was Tom Brady.
The Stansberry Show.
Yeah, but listen, for every 100 angry calls we get, there is somebody that I help.
On Rock 106.9.
9 a.m., get that first $1,000 Rock the Bank keyword passed out to you. A little upset with the new Dragon Age over being lectured to. I'm all right with art forms talking about subject matter that the world is facing. How they did this, though, when you try to be the nicest person in the room, more often than not, you end up stepping absolutely in it, and Dragon Age did. We'll get there, 9 a.m. Have been talking about these photos of Bill Belichick a little bit. I got one of them up at StansburyShow.com. No, at Stansbury Show for Facebook there. It's now look, he's 72, she's 24. They're dating. This is off the heels. He was in a pretty serious relationship. There was an age gap in that one too. Now I don't think as severe as this one. So you know they're out on the coastline there, and he's dressed up like the Gorton's fisherman, and he's yanking a mermaid out of there. Now it's fun. I mean, it is funny. And like I said, I have to be careful about how I judge age gap relationships. First, more than enough of you are in them, right? And I have been in them more than a few times. I will tell you, it's why a lot of the ones I tried to make relationships, I believe that some of those gaps were part of the reasons why those didn't work out. It might not have been the only reason, but it was probably on the list. And, you know, a disconnect between here and there, you know, and not getting references of things you're saying, right? But I've said, you know, as a single guy, I mean, it's First Friday. You know what I mean? You find me in the right bar tonight, couple of drinks, you know, 26. All right. I mean, I guess maybe, right? I mean, we're both adults. Let's see what happens. You know, it gets into a weird territory there when, you know, you start talking about, because one is really okay then. Because people will let themselves off the hook on the age of consent, or like, you know, 18's technically an adult and this and that. It's like that feels like swinging pretty far outside the strike zone. You know what I mean? For me personally. Now, I mean, I'm hovering around 50. You know what I mean? Got a few more years to go yet, but not that many. You know what I mean? Not as many as I would. And so that feels like way too far. Like it does. It feels way far. For me personally. Now, what people do is what people do, right? I mean, it's all up to you there. Somebody has said to me, Dan, almost a 50-year age gap. Can we stop trying to spin this as anything other than just flat out weird? Tiffany, I think, said, oh, come on, let him be. He's almost smiling. Right, got it. And you know, that's actually my bigger takeaway with him and the whole thing and dating the 24-year-old. Out over the years, right? I mean, I may dip my toes into it occasionally, but I don't live in that zone. So I can't really go overboard there. But for me, the takeaway with Bill Belichick is this. He is kind of like the perfect embodiment of, if you're successful in America, you can do whatever you want. I mean, you can get away with pretty much anything you want. Person, you know what I mean? Kill people in your house and do all kinds of stuff, like because you were a celebrity. Those days are kind of changing, but success allows people to act how they want. I'm not saying it's good, and actually I probably should say it's bad. But like, even look at his coaching career. If most coaches went to that podium and treated media the way he did, now maybe nowadays they'd be like, they deserve it. But like when he was doing it, he was kind of a jerk. There's a difference between like, I'm sorry, I'm not ready to answer Tom Brady's injury thing right now. I'm kind of thinking about Cincinnati. But like, he would just like, I mean, he was dismissive. Rude, even. Like rude. But he was considered to be stoic because he had the hardware, because he won. So it was like, well, he wins, so like that's how he does it. That's how he does it. And I remember there was kind of that theory in this industry for the longest time too. You wouldn't believe the way Air Talent acted when I got in here. I mean, you wouldn't believe, and I'm talking about dudes you've never heard of. I'm talking just dudes who were like, you wouldn't believe the way they acted in hallways. And it was like, what? They're talented. What? They get the rating. They're talented. What do you want? That's the way talented people are. It's like, yeah. And then eventually the company was like, nah, that's not really the way they have to be though, right? Like they don't, it kind of feels like an excuse so you can act any which way you want. And there was a lot of truth in that. And Bill Belichick's kind of one of those guys where it's like, that's this country. You get the success, it's like, well, what do you want? He's successful. Look at every comment on social media. When somebody criticizes somebody, like, yo, man, I don't know if you should be doing that. He makes more money than you, bum. Shut up, short king, bum. He got cash, money, 54 million, cash, got the bag. Everybody runs around telling you how success and money, that's not what matters. Hug your kids, love everybody, this and that. But the moment we want to defend bad behavior, the first thing we do is, one, got the money. I mean, he's making the money. I mean, and we all do that. Bill Belichick is maybe the poster boy of that. I don't know about maybe my whole life. You Hefner probably a little bit, but but I don't know about my whole life. But probably like the last 25, 30 years, Bill Belichick is that guy. If you win, if you are successful, you get to act any which way you want. And that's why we like living here, isn't it?
The Stansberry Show.
This show sucks.
On Rock 1069.
Welcome back to the Stansberry Show here on Rock 1069, online at WRQK.com. And before we go forward, we got to go backwards. Earlier in this program, we were talking about when people realized they were in a relationship with an imbecile. And now, Canton, Ohio, going to find out that they have been in a decade-long relationship with an absolute imbecile known as Dan Stansberry. I, all morning, have forgotten that it is Friday, and I forgot that on Fridays, I'm joined by my good buddy, one of the voices of high school football. He and Jeff Shreve on the call usually, Sam Berkwin, and that's why you didn't get the Tom Petty there. Sam texted me, he's like, yo, man, outside, man. It's like, well, what for?
And then, well, I wondered why somebody other than you
went
came
to the door.
Let me in.
Yeah, you texted
I go,
me.
well, I go, maybe he's really got something going on during this break. So
long
my
story
guy
short,
comes
I
out and
did.
answers the door. I'm like, I didn't think nothing of
So
it.
that keyword kind of messes stuff up. You kind of have to manipulate the log a little bit. And so I'm like, look, I'm trying to do that. And I got the text and I was like, oh, I'm not going to have enough time to walk down there and grab you. So I yelled down the hall. I was like, Tony, help me out.
Sure.
I was like, apparently Bergman's here. And I had forgotten it's Friday, man. Thought it was Thursday. So I apologize about that. Sam presented by the Benders of Maslin. I really should be apologizing to them, right? The Benders of Maslin. Check those guys out. There's also the Benders West End Tavern as well. Benders Food and Spirits Pizzeria, downtown Maslin. Pizza. Sammy, buddy, you got a pretty good game tonight, right? 7 o'clock here on Rock 1069, if memory serves, and let's not trust mine. Is it Hoover at Lake? Is that what I got here?
It is Hoover at Lake. It's a rematch of a couple of weeks ago. And normally I don't like rematches. I hate rematches, especially in high school. We've seen that game before. Don't want to see it again. New stuff, new teams, new opportunities.
Okay.
But since that game was such a thriller, it was a walk-off field goal, 39 yards. And like, okay, we're going to do this again. We're just going to flip sites. All right. Last game was at Hoover. This one's over at Lake.
Oh, okay.
It's a 10-7 matchup. Lake is the 7 seed. Hoover's the 10. And looking forward to it. I've seen both teams numerous times. I think they're very evenly matched. Lake is still kind of fighting a little bit of the injury bug. But I think this has got a close game written all over it. It's a Federal League rematch. It's a chance to go to round 2 of the postseason, and then see what else you got. A new opportunity, new team, new platform, new weekend. So I'm excited about this game. Beautiful weather. We're going to be at Lake. Great place to call game.
I love that site.
Open air press box. It's going to be a little frosty inside tonight. Windows are going to be wide open. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, Lake kind of got me one night. I went out there. Is the ex-better half there, and her daughter was part of Flag Corps for the high school she went to, and so we went to one of the games there, and I fell in love with that site at Lake. I was and the Lake played great. I was like, pretty sure that's my team, right? And so but I do
jumping on.
I like that environment though. It feels a little old school football, old school, middle America, high school football, Friday Night Lights. It's that vision personified there a little bit. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're here. I want to go backwards.
Sure.
And I know you're kind of known to be the football guy, but we had the World Series. And I can't wait to talk to you about what we saw with Mookie Betts and that foul ball and that catch and those 2 Yankee fans. Now, It's a tough call a little bit because we know Northeast Ohio, it's like the Yankees. They're the bad guys, right? They're just the bad guys. The fans are the bad guys. It's the thing. When I saw that, Sam, I said on the next show, I said, as a disrespectful person who has been so his entire life, who was at then Jacobs, but Progressive Field when it opened and that whole thing, I would have never in a million years thought to myself, I'm grabbing a player
right
here. Now, it's different when you jump into the dog pound slapping a guy in a helmet. Different.
Totally
different. That's a different thing, right? He's coming in there, and that's what he's coming in there for, is to be patted on the helmet, rile up the crowd, this and that. The baseball player is supposed to try to make the catch at the wall there. What did you make of those guys trying to yank that ball out of there?
Well, that's the thing. It was a tag team.
Yes,
one guy held Mookie's wrist and hands away and down, pushed him down, while the other tried to snatch the ball out of his glove.
Yeah, it's
so
not.
this was a 2-on-1, and Mookie Betts had no chance. I was thinking about this, and those guys, by the way, were booted
in that game.
And they couldn't come back to the next game, but they did get a refund, which was
That's people trying to make everybody happy because of social media.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So the people who think that was awesome, they got a refund, they got their money. The people who don't want to see them at the game, don't worry, they won't be here. Let's try to make everybody.
Oh yeah,
happy.
everybody.
Isn't socials just making the world
I
so
know,
great?
I know,
Just so
I know.
great.
And I'm thinking, these guys, I don't know this for sure, but I believe that's their. I've heard so many stories, but I think those are their tickets, like.
Well, the one guy was a season ticket holder. The one guy for sure was.
So you wonder if before the game, hey, Johnny, if we get a chance tonight, somebody comes up and we got a chance to save our butt and get a home run, do we just, I don't know.
Well, the guy said they view it as like, they talk about it all the time. We're guarding this area.
This is our palace. This is our area.
Maybe you didn't see this. Michael Irvin, professional athlete, said, no, the player went into the fan area. The fan didn't go into the field. You got to expect this kind of stuff. I was like, wait, what? A professional athlete is seeing it this way? I thought that was crazy, man, because, again, I think it's different. All right, so like I talked about jumping into the doghouse.
Yeah.
All right, so the Lambeau leap is what everybody thinks
what
of.
Started it.
Right, that's kind of what started it. Lambeau, right, that whole thing. If you jump in as a Packer player and you get patted on the helmet, that's welcome to being a Packer player, Lambeau leap.
Right.
If you are a Detroit Lions player and you do a Lambeau leap and the fans kind of push you, now,
it's on you.
Dumping beer on you, too far,
right?
Dude, let's not dump the products on people. But if it's like, dude, get out of here, and you shove them back there, that's to be expected. You jumped in there and you knew there was an adverse reaction coming.
Right.
That to me is different than a guy who legitimately catching a foul ball as an out is standard baseball.
Yeah.
And yes, you want to take the ball. I just thought it was so crazy, and it's the mentality of people is different now. Like
they're not afraid.
All right, so I said the one day, you realize they're going to move fans back. And everybody pushed back on me, Sam, and said, no. The owners are too greedy. I said, yeah, but this is like being a high school teacher. I got to take gum away from everybody because the kid in the back of the class keeps putting it underneath the desk.
Right.
So now nobody gets it. And here's my point. These owners are going to blame us for taking seats out. And then they're going to say, we have to raise the prices too.
Right.
Raise the prices, and we're going to get screwed yet again. Right? This is a race to the bottom here, right?
100% with baseball. Football, a little different. In NBA, I mean, you're sitting
right,
courtside. You can reach out.
Right.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. But with base area, there's no vacant area between like a fence and seats or fence and fans. How many times do we see home runs now banging off of walls?
Right.
Home run, and it bounces right back. And there's no landing area for the ball, which I can't stand, but whatever. So people can very easily reach over and grab a ball just as easily as, say, a 6'7" Aaron Judge who can jump out of the gym, can jump up into the stands and snag a ball.
Yeah.
What's one of the highlights we always look for? The fantastic, miraculous jumping over the fence catch.
Yeah.
It's a big moment. And guys, actually, they practice this during spring training. They practice, going a couple of steps over the wall to make the fantastic. It doesn't happen by accident. These guys are unbelievable athletes, and they practice making these circus, unbelievably home run saving catches. Well, now you got fans in the front row, these arms dangling. Some people lean over.
Yeah.
Some people fall onto the field when it's down the foul lines to get a foul ball. So it's created this, okay, well, this is my area. I've been here. And here's the player. Well, hey, this is my stadium. I'm trying to save a run. And you bring these two together, and this is what you come up with. Especially, I mean, are we really surprised this happened in New York?
No, we're not. The entitlement of all fans off the hook, it is, of course, going to be even more so with a fan base that's been entitled my entire life, known as the Yankees. Joined by Sam Berkwin. I almost called you Bertman because of the Chicago thing. Because of the Cubs thing. Sam Berkwin on the call tonight. That's Hoover at Lake, 7 o'clock. I want to talk about that a little bit more with Sam. I got a few questions about Sunday Jameis under center, and we'll get his take on those two next year on the Stansbury Show.
The Stansbury Show.
What's up with this guy's voice? He sounds like a monster.
On Rock 106.9.
Welcome back to the Stansbury Show. I'll remind you guys, you can find me at the Ohio Cannabis Expo today. 1 to 3, I'll be on site. Stop by the table. We'll have multiple $25 gas cards to pass out. We'll be doing that randomly at the Rock 106.9 table today at the Ohio Cannabis Expo, 1 to 3, Hilton Doubletree downtown. Looking for tickets, ohiocannabisexpo.com. Snag those now. See you guys there, 1 to 3. The event is today and tomorrow, Hilton Doubletree downtown, Canton. Look forward to seeing you guys there. Joining me now, Sam Berkwin, one of the voices of high school football here in Stark County. Sam, presented by the Benders of Massillon. And we appreciate having him. I had forgotten about him this morning. I apologize. Just gave Canton a little Tom Petty there, as we are known to do.
I saw you sneak that in there. Boy, no matter how discombobulated, you always find a way.
Well, you're filled with great takes, but that's a bad one. You know what I mean? That's an all. The Tom Petty not being good is an all-timer. That's an all-time bad one there. Find Sam tonight, 7 o'clock here on Rock 106.9 for the rematch, Hoover at Lake. And you're looking for a pretty good game here, right? There was a walk-off for the last time.
Yeah,
right?
last-second field goal, 39-yarder. And, you don't get a lot of those in high school football. You know, the field goals over the years. It hasn't been that long ago when a high school football team would run the kicker out there, like, oh my God, I hope he makes it. As you know, kickers have come a long way at all levels. NFL now, if you can't bang one from 55 yards, you're college now. And now in high school, you got guys going out there kicking 40, 45-yard field goals. It's done. Game's over. Wild celebrations, which is really good for all of us. And, hey, will we see one again tonight? Who knows? It's a rematch. It's a 10-7 matchup, Lake Hoover. And like I said, we've seen both teams numerous times. We know what they're going to do. Hell, if we know what the teams are going to do, the teams know. So it's just it's going to come down to who wants it more, who's hungrier. And I think it's going to be a fantastic game.
Well, your brother games are always great, right? Like when you know each other a little too well, it's like, it's like divisional games in the NFL. It's the same thing. It's like you can be a bad team in the NFL, but when you play a rival in your division, somehow everybody kind of gets up and you kind of know. Now let's talk a little NFL. Because you and I were packing it in, done for the year, fair weather fanning it, if we're honest, like it's over, we're stuck, you know what I mean? But that's what makes him great with the quote, right? Like he's great. A lot of people saying, man, where is this season if Jameis is under center? I think people are penciling in a little too many easy wins just because it wasn't going to be started this year out.
Yeah, probably, I would say 4-4.
Okay.
I would say 4.
But could the Browns find themselves right kind of momentum? By the way, after that Steelers game, it's Denver. It ain't like that game's not winnable too.
Yeah. How much did you watch the game? Because I didn't watch it play. I'm going to be 100% up for. Yeah, I didn't watch it play.
I turned it on, and I wasn't watching it. It was
just there.
I was on. I could hear it. I wanted to see the Donovan stuff because I was like, all right, man, I got to get into it tomorrow. I want to have a frame of reference of what really went down. Yeah. And I love Jimmy. I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times.
Absolutely.
He could not have been a nicer guy to me. And so I was like, I wanted to watch. I wanted to see that. And, I was kind of into it. And, of course, it's a divisional game. So I had it on. And as they started playing, I was just kind of like casually listening to it, shopping Amazon or whatever. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, well, wait a minute here. And then next thing you know, I'm on the edge of my seat kind of watching it. And so what I'm saying is I'll now, my intention will be Sunday to watch it. And I can't tell if I'm setting myself up for. Now here's Jameis is reinvigorated at home, but you lose 27-24 and you're competitive all day. Is the vibe of the fans still high? Is the vibe still good? Like, oh no, because you don't win every game. Good teams lose too. Or do you think it's like, the Jameis thing, weak? Like, where do you think the fans go Monday morning? Because to me, it's not whether or not you win or lose, always, right? It's a short menu, and ultimately the wins matter most. But when a team's bad and trying to get better, or you're trying to this, or is this locker room really together? Film it, I love it, right? Like how you win and how you lose can tell you a lot of things. If they lose competitively, do you think fans are still all in?
I would say probably most are, except for the ones that think, you know what? Last Sunday was last Sunday.
Fluke.
Look, okay. Now we're moving on, and now we need to start thinking about getting draft picks. And now we need to start thinking about the future and what direction we want to go in. I still think, I might be in the minority here, and that's fine. You got to take it down to the studs. Yeah, you got to start over. This team's not going.
Does that mean coach for you? Because for most people, when you say studs,
I got to know if they're going to take the rope off his wrist. I got to know if they're going to let him, if Jimmy's going to stay the hell out of the way and let Kevin Stefanski